mother's writings on the skies, mother's writings by the scars, mother's love in the writings. If you keep searching for these written love drops, you will find them. Maybe it will be your greatest discovery, like it was once my dream. A wet morning with strong winds outside, I woke up by the thunder strike. On looking through the window, it was a slight reduction of wind wheels and conversely an increase in rainfall. I carried my small basin outside to trap raindrops. Then I went back inside my house to wait for the basin to fill up. After a few minutes, I made another spy look through the window, but this time it wasn't enough. Did I see something strange? A burning water surface? I asked myself. Felt like getting outside again to know more about the basin water out of curiosity, which I did. The water drips compounded into a complete picture of mother stories which I never knew existed until the basin started to overflow. Pictures which portray the mother stories that are written amongst the skies. I was yet to discern the mother's small talks of having their children raised by hands of forgiveness and love. I was to know even a fraction of the secrets hidden by the skies. There were a few stories written on the surface of the basin water. If only I waited for the water surface to settle, only then I could look upon it sagaciously, empathically. It was the reflection of the skies in the basin to base in more untold stories on mothers.
Rolling around on the sickbed, screaming so loud the ceiling begins witnessing her pain. A group of doctors wrap around her like the belt on a gentleman's waist. She is lying supine, with hospital lights splashing her face like security lights. Sweaty palms and face, in a situation where the baby kicks are more skilled than Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movie scenes combined. The womb is a training room, and the baby is at work. Appetites are either suppressed or overactive, changing like the weather. The temperature feels hot, then cold. The tears roll at least once a night, and some of those nights she loses sleep because of discomfort or emotions. As the weeks pass, the feet swell, the belly itches as it inflates. She can't seem to see her beauty and youth in the mirror anymore, and for once she can't overlook the black bags under her eyes. She refuses makeup still. Caring for the inside is more important than the outside. She is a queen, burning out and weakening by pregnancy, but is loving the process regardless. It's a beautiful pain to endure and experience with full of love, not because it's enjoyable, not because it's astonishing, not because it's sweet, well, decadent. It's because after the 9 months expire, she will yield a fine baby to label mine, who will grow like a vinery and grow like organic grapes for a premium grape juice, and the drinker of such of a drink will be the mother. All these 9 months, worthy, a long wait to harvest, are like the sectioned plates of honey in the beehive. Waiting patiently is the queen bee. And guess who the queen will be? The mother. That's all the point of her being on the rolling sickbed at the start of the story.
A wounded man is seen cruelly being thrown into a ditch in this lost world. He is disheveled and the path forward is distorted with flaws and misdirections circling him. He tries to climb up the carved walls inside the ditch, but it is made too slippery by oily social judgments, so he attempts to dig small steps with both hands. Society overlooks his wounded hands, not noticing his exasperated and enthusiastic attempted escape from this ditch. He screams out to see if anyone out there would help. He jumps as high as he can, but he is as deep as the height of 8 humans of his height all put together, making this ditch as deep as his height times 8. He exhausts himself doing all he can to escape, but all plans seem to fail at making any meaningful progress. In a strong defeat, the man lays down to sleep. Upon waking up, there is food dropped beside him, unknown by who, but he is too ravenous to even ask. So he goes on to eat and serves the ravenousness with enough to cause satisfaction. The day carries on until the night takes over and the man is still isolated, suffocating in silence and helpless anguish. Rain begins to drop in the night, and the man fears that his dying day will be in this ditch, and likely to be sooner. Could it be that my time is up? He mumbled as he was picking and stacking for any nearby help. To his surprise, a metallic ladder is fed down the wall by invisible hands. Relief washes over him as he climbs, but a few steps up, he notices a small painting of him and his mother before he learned to crawl. As he climbs on, he continues to find paintings of mother's love, too unconditional for their children and families. This brings him to tears. He is touched and his climbing pace slows down. The rain continues to pour down, saturating the man. On every second step there is a painting. There is a mother caring for her young child, so young that he couldn't tell a diaper from a biscuit. There is a mother being a great teacher before the world throws judgments and indoctrinations to her child. She told whatever she could to shape the child's little heart with wisdom. This hits the man emotionally harder than bullet hits by a contract killer. This is his mother. He pauses to reminisce, soaking up the scent of the paint. He worries that in his next step he will drown in unfulfillment of these moments, but instead he finds correction and discipline painted thickly on that step of the ladder. His mother lovingly corrected his wrongs. She disciplined him before the outside world could make an attempt. The man now greatly understands that his mother is the reason as to why he must maintain a positive outlook. He continues climbing over the ladder and discovers another paint of responsibility to connect the entire family and children. He cries again as he imagines what life could be like without his mom. He stays on the step only to stare at the paintings made from pure love. The sweats of his mother were used to weave understanding into her child's mind about all his surroundings. In another painting, his mother is wearing a chef outfit, cooking chicken in the kitchen, feeding healthy meals to her child before the restaurants could profit of his craving and hunger. It was the mother who implemented health from the pregnancy feeding to breastfeeding to spoon feeding, then sequential and eventually to nourishing self-feeding. It took me great courage and patience to catch the rain in the basin so that I could try depict the writings on the skies. Use the gutter on your houses on a heavily wet day to capture the raindrops and see more stories of this kind on the skies. Many more remain hidden amongst the skies. I was fortunate to grasp even a glimpse from the water I captured. It's up to us to imagine the beautiful faces of our mothers writing these stories by hand. Mothers with either makeup or age wrinkles on their skins. Before I close up this write-up, I have to say that the stories might have been a little bit inclined to hard truth, fantasy, and amusement, but trust me, the AC even takes this thing on a whole new level. I can't forget about the dark folded clouds that sometimes overcrowds the skies so that you can never see these stars even more clearly. I'm yet to unfold them within this AC, don't worry about it. A lot of painful visuals are held together by these dark clouds that you can't see any further. It's quite difficult to even look through them, sometimes visually impenetrable. Oh, this suffering that the media keeps in great refrain and disclosure because it's not popular and romantic. And keeping quiet about it is almost the etiquette of our own world today. However, it's necessary to uncover these clouds and whatever it comes with. The many untold stories that get buried by these trends, news, and popular gossips. As far as maternal mortality is concerned, there are countries who have figured it out smoothly already, and also there are countries that are having the worst maternal mortality. The top 5 countries in terms of maternal health are Norway number 1, Australia number 2, Iceland number 3, Sweden number 4, Denmark number 5. And we should be thankful and respectful for this struggle. Though we have a lot to work at right now as I write this, the world's worst maternal mortality rates exist in Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Nigeria, Ethiopia, Chad, Guinea-Bissau, Yemen. Millions of women suffer the repercussions of giving birth without proper medical equipment and with only a family member or a friend to help. Less than a half of women in South Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa give birth with a skilled birth attendant such as a doctor, nurse, or midwife compared to 99% of women in developed countries. We can fully tell if they get forced to or not, but I guess it's the whole plight in helplessness, conditions that we can't fully describe. Every 30 minutes, a pregnant woman dies in Afghanistan. Each year, more than 500,000 women die, roughly 1 woman per minute, as a result of pregnancy complication and childbirth, 99% of which occur in developing countries. Yet many of these women's lives could have been saved if they had access to basic healthcare services. I know this is hard to fathom, quite disturbing, but we have to uncover this pain right here. 1 in 4 women die during childcare, simply bleeding to death. This can often be prevented by a medication that costs 99 cents in dollars There are over 101.3 million single mothers living alone with their children worldwide. There are countries that have made a safe place for single mothers like Canada, New Zealand, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, UAE, Switzerland, and Netherlands. According to the OECD organization, in terms of entrepreneurship, 85% of mothers employed. The highest rates were found in Iceland, Slovenia, and Sweden. In 12 other OECD countries, more than 75% were in paid work: Austria, Canada, Denmark, Finland, Israel, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Portugal, Switzerland. It's such a milestone event to thank the process of the armies behind all this struggle, and we should crown and respect this effort they put in to create an extremely beautiful, supportive, and ecstatic place for single mothers. The great supportive men, organizations, beautiful societies, fellow women in governments, in this case, should be applauded for being generous and being men enough to carry these hot candles by their shoulders for so long without giving up. Whoever takes this support without a doubt is a hero. It is quite sad for countries that face the direct opposite and they are unfairly given less attention, as if it's something not sincerely happening on the other side of the world. Imagine the news magazine called Gallup astounded everyone in 2020 by revealing a study in its story highlights that showed sub-Saharan Africa having the highest percentage of single mothers worldwide at 32%. Countries like Japan, India, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe still face it rough with unstructured, entangled, and unfavorable conditions laid down for single motherhood. Maybe I can mention a big number out there lost in shadows of uncalculated statistics that pretty much need safety, food, water, and shelter. We hope someday to have a better place for all mothers out there, irrespective of their condition. The world is having a population of about 2.2 billion mothers lately, and they are beautiful. It's high time to remind ourselves about their beauty without pretentiousness, and we must show this remembrance in whatever we do with them and the way we spend life together. You may not see the difference in love given to these people between the past and present. You may not see this distortion of love, and I fear that the future may hold such brokenness as a new normal. But I feel great unfairness that they don't always get the love they deserve. Michelle Obama once said that my mother's love has always been a sustaining force for our family, and one of the greatest joys is seeing her integrity, her compassion, her intelligences reflected in my daughters. Gaspard Mamilod, the Swiss cardinal of the Catholic Church who lived in the 18th century, said this about 150 years ago, and I still feel it right to quote him right now because it is way more necessary to hear it today than ever before. He said that a mother is she who can take the places of others, but whose place no one else can take or replace. If you have seen it happening, then he said it right, and I can feel it. What about one of the greatest American presidents of all times, Abraham Lincoln, who once said that all that I am or hope to be, I owe it to my angel mother. Maybe that's not enough to fully spell mother's love. Out of a survey of university freshmen in Australia, 40% listed their moms as the most important and influential person they ever known, compared with the 25% for fathers, 17% for romantic partners, 12% for friends, and 6% for siblings. This is all for Australia. Shout out to them. Much love. Though there is no global statistics for this type of survey, I don't know what the outcome could be. Today, if people all along the globe were given a survey to choose among the two parents on who deserves much love than the other, but I think in terms of providing kindness, tranquility, and love, still mothers will be paid less than they deserve, underrated. I feel like the percentage will dwarf even more than the survey in Australia, and the world may never talk about it, but that's just very true. Few people will acknowledge how much we forget about them when we get to the top standards of society, when we get to the top job, car, marriage partner, status and net worth, when we get our names mainstreamed and well known by the public, when everything seems to be fancy and cool, that's when we forget all their stories. Let me take you to the Lebanese writer and poet Khalil Gibran, who said that the most beautiful word on the lips of mankind is the word mother, and the most beautiful call is the call of my mother. It is a word full of hope and love, a sweet and kind word coming from the depth of the heart. The mother is everything. She is our consolation in sorrow, our hope in misery, and our strength in weakness. She is the source of love, mercy, sympathy, and forgiveness. Another wise man, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once asked by a random man, who is the most deserving of my kindness amongst the two parents? The wise man answered, your mother, then your mother, then your mother, then your father, then your nearest, then your nearest. This simply shows how naturally inextricable it is to show kindness to the mothers first at all costs. Mothers need all this love to be paid back on a blank check. Mothers need all this support and kindness on the front page of everyone's heart. If any one of you got his or her mother alive today, use this chance to reach out for a hug. Make a call to bridge the distance broken communication lines. Try all means to mean much love to her while you still can. Try to fly to that country and meet her while you still can. Protect her at all costs and toss. Try to join the lost DNA trails like archaeologists trying to ascertain historically and forensically lost DNA trails in the far ground of the planet. Go out there and present yourself as a son or daughter, again with full submission, like you haven't been told to act otherwise by society rules. If you sadly can't see her on this planet right now, gone amongst the flying lost memories, then try to pray for her and pay some homage of all positive kinds. Try making charity under her name. Try doing something good under her name, cause you were once a prediction under her belly. The only act of trying to treat others as a decent human being will give her a smile wherever she is. Love her at heart, that's all. Be that person trying to benefit from all you can see in the reflections of the skies captured by the raindrops, mother's writings. Maybe that will be the day to pay back and play back the lost and found love drops. More love to all queen mothers out there, and whoever loves his or her mother.